What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now, kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. We had a record-breaking basketball game last night. First off, 12.6 million views, people. Iowa LSU Part 2. Are you kidding me? And the Stars did not disappoint. Plus, we got a whole lot of post-game interviews to get into, man. There was a whole lot of comments made about this game. Somebody need to get that man Paul Pierce up out of here, man. Take his mic, cut him off. He's done. Because what in the world? Paige Beckers continues to be the most efficient player in the nation, putting UConn on her back, carrying them past superstar freshman Juju and those revitalized USC Trojans. We also have to look at the other Final Four matchup. South Carolina, NC State, cross-state battle going on. A battle of the Carolinas. It's getting real spicy towards the end of this women's basketball season. And we still got some more left. But before we get into all that, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. Join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
So just getting into the game a little bit. In our first matchup, we had Iowa taking on LSU Part 2. The storylines wrote themselves. This was going to be an emotional game for both sides. And unfortunately, one of these teams had to go home. And that would be the defending champs LSU, who finally saw their season come to a halt. Iowa took the dub 94-87, outshooting LSU 46.4% to 38.6%. They also knocked down 5 more three-pointers than LSU and shot better from the free throw line, going 17 of 22. LSU does what they do, man, on the boards. They dominated the glass as they have all year, 54-36. And it still did not matter. Iowa wins the assist battle +1. LSU winning the defensive battle on the stats as far as blocks and steals for the most part. 6 blocks compared to Iowa's 3. They tied at 6 steals. And then LSU had 1 more turnover. Honestly, not that many turnovers. Like the first half was a little shaky. Late in the game was a little shaky, but it wasn't really a sloppy game for the most part, per se. 12 turnovers for Iowa, 13 for LSU, 21 personal fouls for LSU. Whew. And then looking at it for LSU, Flau'jae Johnson did everything she could. She was the best player on this roster for the entire tournament, best player in the SEC tournament, and she finishes with 23 points, 2 assists, and 6 boards. For the sophomore, man, freshman Michaela Williams had 18, 3 and 7. Angel Reese playing arguably her last game in purple and gold, finished with 17 points, 4 assists, 20 rebounds. And then Anissa Morrow, 14, 2 and 4. Haley Van Lith, last year poet, didn't give a whole lot. They did what they could trying to guard Caitlin Clark, but good night. It was just no chance. They had no chance of slowing her down, man. And now we look at it. Flau'jae and Michaela Williams lead the way for LSU. That's something to say. You got a freshman and a sophomore coming to perform at some of the highest levels that they've ever seen. And that's who's leading your team next year. So good signs for LSU. Also, Anissa Morrow had a big game as well. So good signs for them in that aspect. We'll get more into that. Looking at Iowa. Caitlin Clark was sensational. The best player on the court by far. 41 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. And she was dropping dimes. Shout out to Kate Martin, 21 and 6. She was hooping, hitting threes, getting to the bucket, finishing in traffic, getting down that court in transition. Man, she played big. Sydney Falter, also a really good game for her. She found her stride early in this contest. 16 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. The supporting cast delivered. They didn't even need a big game for Hannah Stolke, who had 8 points, 1 rebound, and 5 assists, or 1 assists and 5 rebounds. They didn't really need a big game for her. Gabby Marshall was a pest on the defensive side, continuing to do what she does and just taking on the biggest perimeter threat of the opposing team. Caitlin Clark was sensational. We saw it. I mean, generational talent. Just put this team on her back. Put on a passing expo, a display of assists, man. Just getting that ball out, hitting players in transition and stride. All they got to do is catch and finish. That's it. If you were open last night, Caitlin Clark was finding you. She played unselfish. She played within the team. She trusted her teammates. And Iowa just had a really, really good performance. They got hot from 3. You know what I'm saying? They got the rebounds that really mattered close to the end. They just never let up. LSU kept trying to fight and claw back, and Iowa just never let up. Anytime they needed something, Caitlin Clark was coming through with a bucket. Haley Van Lith was out there fighting for her life, y'all. Last year, Pola couldn't do nothing with her. And I mean, I feel like I get it. Like, I think they should have started the game with Flage on her. And then if she picks up a quick foul or 2, then you move her off. But I think you got to let Flage take that on. Because that's the only chance you got. Or double. Trap on those screens on that pick and roll. Like, you got to make everybody else beat you. Kate Martin, a falter, they beat them last night as well. But Caitlin Clark, 41? I just don't understand the defensive strategy, man. I'm not here to question Coach Kim Mulkey because, she's a national champion. But at the same time, I think the approach ended up losing them the game. But we heard from Coach Kim Mulkey giving high praise to Caitlin Clark, who just lit it up, generational talent, the best player in college basketball. I was still thinking, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, and so we heard from Coach Kim Mulkey. We also heard from an emotional Angel Reese, and Flage Johnson had her teammates back. Angel Reese talked about being sexualized, and I mean it's crazy because Sports in the Swim issue. I mean, there's a lot that's going on, and I don't know. I'm not saying she's playing victim because I feel for her. Like, honestly, she's a megastar and big responsibilities come with that. So, I mean, I'm not here to throw shade, throw shots, or nothing like that. But how do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like she was, playing the victim card there? Should Caitlin Clark have got on stage and said, get out your feelings and get a bag? I mean, it's tough because you've been talking big junk to everybody relentlessly. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
Guard her. Nobody else seems to be able to guard her. We didn't even guard her last year when we beat them. She's just a generational player, and she just makes everybody around her better. That's what the great ones do. I think they had a kid that scored 21 and 18. She had 12 assists. Caitlin Clark's not going to beat you by herself. It's what she does to make those other teammates better that helps her score points and them score points to beat you. What did I say to her? I said, I sure am glad you leaving. I said, girl, you something else. Never seen anything like it.
It's beyond that, Key. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. We saw a white girl in Iowa do it to a bunch of black girls. Well, of course. That made it like, that gained my respect. That gained my respect.
I hear you. You're
like,
right.
That's like, she didn't do this to some other little white girls that was over here in Colorado, wherever. She did it to some girls from LSU who we thought was some dogs.
Defending champs.
And put them on their knee and spanked them. And so I know, but I didn't expect that.
Tell me you don't watch women's college basketball without telling me you don't watch women's college basketball. Paul Pierce this is a disgraceful, distasteful take right here, man. What is bro even talking about right now? Y'all, get him out of here.
I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down. And, like, not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Let me tell you something. Everybody can have their opinion on Angel Reese, but y'all don't know her. Like, y'all don't know Angel Reese. I know Angel Reese. I know the real Angel Reese. And the person I see every day is a strong person. Is a caring, loving person, bro. The crown she wears is heavy, bro. She's the type of teammate that's going to make you believe in yourself. The leap that I took from my freshman to sophomore year, Angel gave me that confidence to go be a dog. Playing next to a dog every day. And, just to see how the media ridicule her, went through our problems, but, like, this is my sister right here. And I'm so proud of her. Like, the media, y'all, how they like to twist and call her a villain and all of that, y'all don't know Angel, bro. And I'm just happy that I get to play with her. I get to be around her presence. Her energy is different. Like, she just make me a better player. She make me a better player, and that's what great players do.
Hey, Coach Kim Mulkey, boy, in shock. She says that girl is something else. They trying to get Caitlin Clark up out of there, man. Like, send her to the pros today. Lit them up for 41, and great player. I mean, LSU just simply did not have an answer. Simply didn't. Shout out Flage coming to stand up for her teammate. You know what I'm saying? Her friend, knowing what Angel is doing behind the scenes, putting in the work together, getting it out the mud. They won a championship together, so shout out to them. Shout out to all the women, the girls that's out there that's inspired by a strong black woman like Angel Reese. I don't know, many people are going to interpret that many different ways. And, that's the great thing about America. We get to interpret and have our First Amendment right. I'm not here to weigh in on yay or nay, either side of it, right or wrong, if there even is a wrong. I'm just presenting the information, taking it in. I kind of understand where people are coming from, but I'm gonna leave that up to y'all to debate in the comments. Now, next up for LSU, man, just looking ahead, I expect them to hit the transfer portal. I expect Haley Van Lith as well as Angel Reese to be up out of there. There's been some rumors about Talia Scott, Georgia Moore as well. We know Coach Kenny Brooks out of Virginia Tech went to Kentucky, so that may be likely the move for her. But I expect LSU and Coach Kim Mulkey to dive into that portal head first now. Bring in and reload this roster, add some depth. There's not a whole lot of production coming from the incoming freshmen that, can really be expected, I don't think. But yeah, they got to hit that portal, man. They missed out on all the top freshmen for the most part. So they got to hit that portal and reload. Get another guard in there. Get some depth. Get some scoring off the bench. You get Samaya Smith back. Build this team around Flage. Build this team around Michaela Williams. Build this team around Anita Morrow. Find complementary pieces for them. LSU's going to be back strong. Nobody's going to feel sorry for them. Coach Kim Mulkey wouldn't have it any other way. I think they hit the portal hard. I think they bring in more size to replace Angel Reese. They'll have to work with Del Rosario as well. Hope she takes a huge step forward in her second season. But you look at it, they gotta dive into that portal. They need a few players out of that portal. We saw what they did last year. They put this dream team. People were kind of talking about it. I was even hyped up about it as well, even back in the summer when these moves were happening. They got to the Elite Eight. They didn't repeat. They lost some crucial parts off this team, injuries, departures. But overall, I think it was a good season for LSU, man. They took everybody's best punch. They fought through a whole lot of noise, whole lot of disrespectful media coverage, and can't win them all. Can't win them all. As far as Angel Reese, man, she had a great college career. You know what I'm saying? She leaves the national champion. She leaves LSU better than she found it, an All-American, household name, just a full-blown celebrity, a superstar. Now she will most likely take her talents to the WNBA and continue to just be great. It would be hilarious though if she was just like, man, forget y'all talking all that noise. I heard y'all. I'm coming back to LSU to run it back. That would be crazy. I'm just saying. But we'll have more on LSU as you know, Iowa's going to match up against UConn and Paige Beckers, and we'll talk about that matchup a little bit. But let's get to UConn and USC, two of the best guards in the nation. Whew. Man, they went at it. Paige Beckers continues to be the most efficient, most versatile player in the nation. On the other side, Juju Watkins carrying USC, doing everything she could to get this team into the Final Four. UConn took the matchup 80-73. They outshoot USC 48.3% from the field compared to 32.9%. USC did hit 9 3-pointers, but they only shot 31% from the three. The free throws there, this was a physical game, man. I honestly did. The free throw margin was pretty even compared to most games we've seen throughout this tournament. It's kind of been lopsided, but UConn left 10 points at the free throw line, man. Like, that is just uncharacteristic for them. They do win the rebounding battle, 42-41, plus one on that end. They throw out 17 assists, win the assist battle as well. Win the blocks 5-4. Tied for steals, and they lose the turnover battle. USC only 10 turnovers compared to UConn's 12. Man, USC had stretches where they were really knocking down shots, especially Mackenzie Forbes, but it was a tough shooting night for them overall, man. They just got hot in spurts and then would fizzle out. It was crazy. UConn, 21 fouls compared to USC's 20. 41 fouls called in this game. That just speaks to the physicality. Looking at USC, Juju Watkins continues to lead the way. She started strong. She finishes strong. 29 points, 2 assists, 10 rebounds for the freshman. And she was very emotional after the game, rightfully so. Mackenzie Forbes, 24 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. She was letting that thing fly. I'm trying to tell you, big game from her. And, man, she just, whenever they needed a big three to try to cut into this lead, like UConn would make a run, Forbes would come in and knock down a tray ball and keep them within striking distance. She really played a superb game, to be honest with y'all, man. They didn't get a whole lot out of Caitlin Davis, who's been like the coach on the floor for this group. 3 points, 1 assist, 9 rebounds. Another sharpshooter for them, Kayla Padilla, who's been averaging double digits this season, especially through the tournament, man. She's had some really impressive shooting performances. She only gave them 3 points, 2 assists, 0 rebounds. Tough shooting night for her. Ryan Marshall did what she could against UConn's Aaliyah Edwards. She finishes with 11 points, 2 assists, 11 rebounds. Double-double for a slight, but they just didn't get much production, to be honest with y'all, outside of Watkins and Forbes. Marshall definitely did what she could, and she was impactful on the glass. So was Davis, but they just didn't get a whole lot out of Padilla or Bigby. Like, you know, it was surprising, man, because Padilla has really been playing really, really well throughout the NCAA tournament. And this is one game they absolutely needed her to make up that 7-point difference. For UConn, the usual suspects, man. Paige Beckers, 28, 6, and 10, played the entire game. Also, Aaliyah Edwards, the other half of that dynamic duo, 24 points, 1 assist, only 6 rebounds, though. Paige Beckers out-rebounded her. Dominant performance for the two, man. Put this team on their backs, made play after play, right decision, took USC's best punch, you know, went into the fourth quarter at a really tight game. They trailed after the first quarter. I mean, this game was tight through and through. They pulled away at certain points, but USC really never stopped fighting, man. Nika Mule also played the entire game. Big 8 points, 8 assists for her. Her 8 points was crucial, man. Every bucket she got came at a really crucial time, like where UConn really, really needed it. She also had 5 points. KK Arnold, 4 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. This is like the most we've seen players play. Hey man, Geno really went into his bench a little bit with this one. Ice Brady got 19 minutes. The freshman off the bench had 8 big points, 1 rebounds, just providing those extra minutes to spare Leah Edwards, man. You know what I'm saying? Leah Edwards was still on the floor, but it was nice that Brady could come in and take over as that low post scoring option for them when Aaliyah kind of needed to, get a quick breath. But Ashlyn Shade, 5 points, 6 big rebounds for the freshman as well. And Katie Samuels also got in this game, 14 minutes. She hit a big 3, 1 assist, 2 rebounds as well, man. Overall, impressive performance for UConn, man. This game was tight throughout. They were trading blows. Shout out Juju Watkins, man. National Player of the Year runner-up, Freshman of the Year, second in the nation in scoring. She was really emotional after the game, and Coach Geno Auriemma has some words for her.
Go pro. I told her, I said, it's a great opportunity for you in WNBA, overseas, 3-on-3 league. I'm sure there's great places for you to play. I love Lindsay, but you got bigger fish to fry. She was very emotional. She was crying, like all competitors. She put her heart and soul into this, and I just reminded her, you had an amazing year, and your team wouldn't be here without you.
The future is bright for USC. They got a top recruiting class coming in, multiple 5-stars coming to join Juju Watkins. Maybe they hit the transfer portal. If they can bring majority of this roster back and pair them with this talented recruiting class they have back, hey man, USC is going to be more of a problem next year than they were this year. Juju Watkins, they gotta sign a bill. They gotta implement a bill to get her to the WNBA. Can y'all imagine 3 more years of Juju? Oh my gosh, bro. The future is absolutely sky high. It is sun bright for USC, man. They are going to be a program to reckon with for years to come as long as Juju is there, and that supporting cast is going to get an improvement next year. So excited to see what they do. I think for Coach Golub, the future is bright with this group, and they will be right back in this position next year, in my opinion. Moving on is UConn. They have a big matchup against Iowa, guys. Oh my goodness. We get Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark, the former Olympic teammates, or the international teammates, the friends, the 2 classmates. Like, hey man, it's just the 2 former McDonald's All-Americans, the 5-stars. They've been tied together for years now since they entered the college ranks, and we get a mega matchup. And we know Iowa's playing their best basketball of the season. Hannah Stolke versus Leah Edwards, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, Nika Mule, Gabby Marshall. Oh my goodness, Sydney Falter, KK Arnold. It's going to be just sensational basketball. 2 very well coached teams. Very well coached. Disciplined, high scoring. Man, 2 superstars in Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark going at it, man. This is a dream matchup. This could be better than the LSU game, man. I don't know if 12.5 million people are going to watch, but Beckers versus Clark is going to be maybe the matchup of the year, to be honest with y'all, if they actually line up against each other. Both of them 6 foot big guards, man. I hope they match up with one another, man. Beckers, I know, has been playing some 4 for UConn, playing out of position, so who knows, she may be matched up on a 4. But I would like to see her. I know they're probably going to have KK Arnold on her, but I would love to see Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark match up a few times too. But hey, man, both these teams playing great basketball. A trip to the national championship on the line. All year, people have been saying UConn has the best chance of beating USC and has the second best chance of winning the title. People have been saying it all year. Caitlin Clark made it to the game last year. With Iowa made it. They lost some of those key pieces, but they come back strong this year. And they're looking to get back to the natty, man. They're looking to get back to the national title game and send Caitlin Clark off so she can be mentioned more in those GOAT talks. Send her off with a ring. Paige Beckers is a woman on a mission along with Aaliyah Edwards. Crazy thing is, Beckers has already announced that she's coming back next year. She's playing with house money right now. But UConn is firing on all cylinders. They've overcome so much adversity with all the injuries. Iowa has overcome the injury of Molly Davis, their third leading scorer on this team. I don't know if she'll be back for this game or not, man, but that would be a huge boost for Iowa if they could get her back in the lineup. Both these teams, man, they like to do similar things. There's going to be some three-pointers that get shot. You know what I'm saying? They like to get up and down the floor. Paige Beckers is a great passer as well, getting it out in transition. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. And it may come out down to who can get the most defensive stops in this contest. We'll definitely preview that game more going into later in the week. But, man, that's going to be a mega matchup. And on the other side, of course, we mentioned the cross-state rivalry. We got South Carolina, NC State, Sanaya Rivers playing against her former team. Oh my goodness. NC State, man, looking to get to the national championship game. And they weren't even the favorites to take the ACC, but this team has been ranked as high as 2 in the nation this year. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah James having one of the best, just most improved player in the nation. She's got to be. She's got to be. I mean, she's averaging almost double the points she was averaging last year, bro. Like, she's increased her points by almost, double digits, bro. Like, it's crazy the jump she has made this year. You know what I'm saying? Mimi Collins, River Baldwin. This is going to be a really good game, I think. NC State's got size, and they're definitely going to fight. And then we know on the other side, Camila Cardoso has just continued to put South Carolina on her back and put dominant performances together. Ashlyn Watkins, Malaysia Ford Wiley have come to life. Tessa Johnson coming off of a game where she led this team in scoring off the bench. You just don't know whose night it's going to be. Raven Johnson, Bree Hall, Chloe Kitts. You just don't know whose night it's going to be with this group. You can't take one player away. Tahina Powell's due for a big game. You know what I'm saying? I expect her to bounce back and knock down some of them tray balls. It's going to be, NC State's just got to play for 4 quarters, man. Because South Carolina will wear you down with that depth. They got to play 4 quarters and play smart basketball and make shots. If South Carolina happens to make a mistake, you have to make them pay for it. And you got to make shots if you get an open look. South Carolina, Don Staley, familiar territory. Business as usual. Looking to get back to the national championship. They ain't lost a game since I don't know when. They've been the favorite, the juggernaut. We know the story. They lost 5 starters to the WNBA draft, reloaded, and went undefeated again in the regular season. Dominated. Has been running through the competition in the NCAA tournament, and they look like a surefire lock to take the championship unless a miracle happens. Let's just be straight up about it. But who do y'all think would be the tougher matchup, UConn or Iowa for South Carolina? You know, we know that South Carolina lost to Iowa last year. They're not going to be able to guard Raven Johnson the way they did last year. And that disrespect will cost them if it comes down to it. Y'all let me know who y'all think the toughest matchup will be and who the predictions are. We're going to have more content on this later in the week. Predictions, more analysis, and hearing from the team and the coaches. So y'all stay tuned. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakey, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.